The Galactic Council chamber was the largest room ever built in known space. Its walls were made of clear crystal, showing a slow river of stars outside. Giant alien leaders sat on high seats made of metal, light, and stone. Each one ruled many worlds. Each one had destroyed enemies without mercy. This was a room where fear was common. But today something felt different. At the center of the chamber stood a long table of dark glass. On one side sat the representatives of the Galactic Empire. Their bodies were tall, wide, and powerful. Their eyes glowed with confidence. Their voices carried authority. On the other side sat the humans. They looked small. No heavy armor covered them. No weapons rested on the table. No guards stood behind them. Only calm faces. The lead human representative sat straight, his hands folded calmly in front of him. His eyes moved slowly across the room, watching, listening, learning. He did not show fear. He did not show anger. He showed patience. An alien commander leaned forward, his sharp claws tapping on the table. "So," the alien said, his voice echoing in the chamber, "this is humanity." Soft laughter moved across the alien side of the table. "You traveled far," another alien added. "For a species so young, it is impressive." The human did not answer. The silence grew longer. Some of the aliens exchanged looks. They were not used to silence. They were used to fear. They were used to begging. The main leader of the Galactic Empire raised his hand and the laughter stopped. "You are here," the leader said slowly, "because your worlds are surrounded. Our fleets control your trade routes. Your future depends on this meeting." He paused, letting his words sink in. "We offer peace," he continued. "But peace has a price." Still the human said nothing. A few aliens frowned. Others smiled, thinking this was weakness. The leader leaned closer. "You will share your technology," he said. "Your star maps. Your defense systems. In return, we will allow humanity to exist." The words were clear. This was not a deal. It was a command. The human representative finally looked up. He did not speak. He simply looked at the alien leader. His calm made the room uncomfortable. An alien general laughed loudly. "Do humans even understand our language?" the general mocked. "Or are they too afraid to speak?" More laughter followed. The human's face did not change. Inside the silence, something heavy began to form. The humans were not afraid. They were measuring something. Time passed. The alien leader's patience began to fade. "You have one chance," the leader said coldly. "Agree now, or your species will be remembered as a short mistake in history." That was when the human stood up. The movement was slow, controlled. Every eye in the chamber turned toward him. The human placed his hands on the table and looked at each alien leader, one by one. Still, no words. Then he turned around. The aliens froze. He began to walk away from the table. At first, the aliens were confused. Then they were amused. "Is this a joke?" one alien asked. "Is this how humans surrender?" The human did not look back. One by one, the other humans stood and followed him. Their footsteps echoed across the chamber. No anger. No fear. No weakness. Just silence. The doors opened and closed behind them. The humans were gone. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the room filled with laughter. "They ran," an alien said. "Just as we expected." The leader leaned back in his throne, satisfied. "Let them leave," he said. "They will return when hunger and fear break them." Outside the chamber, the stars continued to move. Inside, the Galactic Empire believed they had won. They did not know that this silence was not surrender. It was a warning. And the galaxy would soon learn what happens when humanity walks away. The laughter inside the Galactic Council chamber lasted longer than expected. Alien leaders leaned back in their great seats. Some spoke among themselves. Others mocked the humans openly. To them, the meeting had ended in victory. "Humans always run," one alien said. "They act brave, but fear controls them." Another leader nodded. "They will return. They always do." The Galactic Empire had seen many species before. Young civilizations always followed the same path. First they resisted. Then they begged. Finally they obeyed. Humans were no different. Or so they believed. The main leader raised his hand. "Prepare a message," he ordered. "Let humanity know our terms remain open, for now." The message was sent across known space. No reply came. Hours passed. Then days. The Empire was not worried. They had time. Humans did not. But small things began to feel wrong. One of the trade masters entered the chamber with concern on his face. "Our outer trade stations report delays," he said. Human supply ships are missing. The leader frowned slightly. Missing? He asked. Explain. They have stopped arriving, the trademaster replied. No warnings. No requests. Just silence. The room grew quieter. Another official stepped forward. Our markets are unstable, she added. Human materials are no longer available. Some aliens laughed again. So what? An alien general said. They need us more than we need them. But the trade master shook his head. Humans controlled several key routes, he said. They provided navigation systems we depended on. That caused a few leaders to exchange looks. Still no panic. Then seize their routes, the leader ordered. Send patrol fleets. The command was given. Hours later, the patrol reports arrived. The fleets found nothing. Human stations were empty. No ships. No signals. No power. It was as if humanity had vanished. An intelligence officer spoke carefully. All human systems are offline, he said. They did not collapse. They were shut down. Silence spread across the chamber. That was strange. Species under threat did not shut down systems. They fought. Or they begged. They did not disappear. A junior commander stepped forward. We tried to contact their central networks, he said. There is no response. Not even automated messages. The alien leader leaned forward. How long has this silence lasted? Since they left the council, the commander replied. For the first time, doubt appeared. What kind of species walks away from survival? One leader whispered. The Empire began to feel something new. Uncertainty. The next report came from the military sector. Several Empire ships experienced navigation errors. Their systems failed to update star maps. Old routes became dangerous. Ships were forced to slow down or turn back. This should not be happening, the fleet commander said. Our systems are advanced. The intelligence officer hesitated. Many of those systems were human-designed, he admitted. The room grew colder. Humans had never demanded praise. They had never claimed power. They had simply helped. Quietly. Efficiently. And now they had stopped. The leader stood up slowly. Increase surveillance, he commanded. Find their fleets. Scanners were activated across the galaxy. They found nothing. No human warships. No signals. No movements. Only empty space. Days passed. Empire worlds began to feel the impact. Supply chains slowed. Factories paused. Communication delays increased. Small problems became big ones. Citizens began to ask questions. Where are the humans? The Empire did not have an answer. A new message arrived at the council. Not from humans. From a neutral species. They have cut ties with everyone, the message said. Humans are no longer part of the galactic system. That was impossible. No species could survive alone. Unless... One alien leader spoke softly. What if they were never weak? He asked. What if they were patient? The room went silent. The Empire had mocked silence. Now it feared it. Because the humans had not left in fear. They had left by choice. And the galaxy was beginning to feel the weight of a species that decided to walk away. The Galactic Empire had faced wars before. They had lost fleets. They had lost worlds. They had never lost control. But now, control was slipping. The first true shock came without warning. An Empire defense station near a major star route went dark. No explosion. No attack. Just silence. Engineers rushed to the control centers. All power systems are offline, one engineer reported. But nothing is damaged. The commander frowned. Restart them. We can't, the engineer replied. The core refuses all commands. That made no sense. Empire technology did not fail like this. Within hours, similar reports arrived from other systems. Navigation beacons stopped working. Communication relays delayed messages by minutes, then hours. Automated defenses refused to activate. The Empire leadership gathered again in the council chamber. Their confidence was gone. What is happening? The leader demanded. The intelligence chief answered carefully. Our systems depend on layered designs, he said. Many of those layers were developed by humans. The room went still. Humans designed only minor systems, an alien general protested. The chief shook his head. They designed the quiet parts, he said. The parts that connect everything. Screens lit up around the chamber showing failing networks. One by one the links went dark. The Empire had not noticed these connections before. They were invisible, reliable, always working, until they stopped. A trade world sent an emergency signal. Cargo ships were stuck. Docking systems refused access. Automated customs programs locked themselves. Food shipments slowed. Factories halted. Citizens grew restless. "This is sabotage," one leader shouted. "Find the humans and force them to fix it." But the scouts returned with the same answer. No humans. No fleets. No signals. Human space was sealed. Borders locked. Old communication channels rejected Empire access codes. The humans had not destroyed anything. They had simply disconnected. A military officer stepped forward. "Our fleets are also affected," he said. "Targeting systems require updates we no longer receive." The leader's eyes narrowed. "Can we fight without them?" The officer hesitated. "Yes," he said slowly. "But not efficiently." That word echoed in the chamber. Inefficient. The Galactic Empire did not accept inefficiency. The first border conflict erupted 2 days later. A rival species noticed the Empire's slowed response. They pushed into a disputed sector. Empire fleets arrived late. Formations were sloppy. Communications lagged. They won the battle. But barely. The loss was small. The message was not. Other species were watching. Another shock followed. An ancient defense grid protecting a core world failed during a solar storm. Human algorithms had managed those shields. Without them, the grid collapsed. Millions panicked. The Empire had always promised safety. Now it looked uncertain. Public confidence began to crack. Inside the council chamber, arguments exploded. "This is temporary," one leader insisted. "Humans will return. They need us." Another leader shook his head. "They have not contacted us," he said. "They have not asked for anything." Silence fell again. That silence was different now. It was heavy. Fear lived inside it. An intelligence analyst spoke quietly. "Humans planned this," she said. "Not as an attack, but as a test." The leader stared at her. "A test of what?" "A test of how the galaxy survives without them." The words were hard to accept. Humans were young. Humans were new. Humans were supposed to be replaceable. Yet their absence hurt more than their presence ever had. A final report arrived. Human financial networks had closed. Galactic markets crashed within hours. Trade values collapsed. Entire sectors froze. The Empire's economy slowed for the first time in centuries. The leader stood slowly. "They walked away from peace," he said. "No," the intelligence chief replied. "They walked away from us." The room fell silent once more. The Galactic Empire had made many enemies, but never one like this. An enemy that did not attack, did not threaten, did not even speak. An enemy that simply removed itself, and in doing so, exposed how fragile the galaxy truly was. The Galactic Empire had finally stopped laughing. Now they were searching. Deep scans were sent across known space. Intelligence units worked without rest. Every old human contact was questioned. Every past agreement was reviewed. What they found was disturbing. Humans had never acted alone. An intelligence officer stood before the council, surrounded by glowing screens. "Humans were part of many systems," she said. "Not as rulers. Not as commanders." She paused. "But as builders." The screens changed. Trade networks. Navigation grids. Medical supply chains. Emergency defense systems. Human names appeared everywhere. They had never claimed ownership. They had never asked for control. They had simply helped improve things. Quietly. Efficiently. One leader clenched his fists. "Why did we not see this?" he demanded. "Because they never demanded attention," the officer replied. "They offered solutions. The Empire had ignored that. They valued strength shown through force. Humans showed strength through patience." Another report arrived. Human engineers had trained other species. They had shared knowledge freely. Not advanced weapons but understanding. Humans encouraged independence, the officer continued. They designed systems that could stand on their own, until humanity chose to step away. The council realized something terrifying. Humans had not trapped the galaxy. They had prepared it. A military analyst stepped forward. "Our records show humans warned us," he said. "Not directly, but clearly." Screens displayed old meeting logs. Human representatives had suggested fairness in trade, balance in power, shared responsibility. The Empire had dismissed it. "Too ideal," they had said. "Too weak." The leader spoke slowly. "They were not warning us of war," he said. "They were warning us of absence." That truth hit hard. More data came in. Several smaller species had followed the humans. They had left Empire space, closed borders, formed quiet alliances, not military alliances, support networks, supply sharing, information exchange, mutual protection. No banners, no threats, just cooperation. One alien whispered, "They built a second galaxy inside ours." The Empire tried to enter human space again. They failed. Human defense systems did not attack. They simply refused entry. Navigation routes disappeared. Coordinates no longer matched. Space itself seemed to say no. Engineers tried to break the locks. They could not. "These systems adapt," one engineer said. "They learn. They respond." "Who designed them?" the leader asked. The engineer swallowed. "Humans." The Empire finally understood. Human power was not in fleets, not in weapons, not in fear. It was in choice. Humans chose where to connect, and now they had chosen where not to. A final revelation came from deep archives. Long ago, humans had studied ancient empires. They had seen how arrogance destroyed them. They learned one lesson well. Control creates resistance. Dependence creates weakness. So humans never ruled. They became necessary. The leader sat down heavily. "We pushed them away," he said. "Yes," the intelligence officer replied. "And they let us." Silence filled the chamber. Not mocking silence. Not confident silence. The silence of understanding too late. Outside the council chamber, stars burned quietly. The galaxy still turned. But the balance had changed. Humanity had not shown its strength by staying. They had shown it by leaving. And the Galactic Empire now faced a truth worse than war. A galaxy that no longer needed them. The Galactic Empire had reached a point it had never faced before. They needed help. Emergency meetings filled the council chamber. Leaders spoke loudly. Voices overlapped. Fear replaced pride. "Our outer worlds are unstable," one leader said. "Trade delays are turning into shortages." Another leader added, "Smaller species are leaving our control. They follow the human path." The main leader listened in silence. Finally he spoke. "Contact humanity." The room froze. That order would have been unthinkable before. "How?" an officer asked. "They closed every channel." "Try again," the leader replied. "Use diplomatic codes. Old agreements. Anything." Messages were sent. Peace offers. Trade deals. Apologies. No response. Hours passed. Then days. The silence continued. A young diplomat stepped forward. "Humans taught us patience," she said softly. "Now they are using it against us." The Empire tried a different approach. They sent a neutral species to speak for them. The messenger returned with a simple answer. "Humans are listening," the messenger said. "But they are not replying." That was worse than rejection. It meant humanity was choosing silence. Economic pressure grew heavier. Markets collapsed. Energy costs rose. Public trust weakened. Empire citizens began to protest. They asked questions their leaders could not answer. Why did the humans leave? Why did we let them go? Fear spread faster than any fleet. A military commander broke the silence. "We can force them back," he said. "We still have the strongest fleets." The intelligence chief shook her head. "Force will not work," she said. "They are not attacking us. They are not defending." The leader understood. You cannot threaten someone who does not care to fight you. Another message was sent. This time it was different. No demands. No threats. Only words. "We were wrong." Still no reply. The Empire had always believed silence meant weakness. Now it understood silence could be power. Weeks passed. Supply failures became common. Emergency laws were passed. Worlds that once obeyed without question now demanded independence. The Empire was shrinking. One final message was prepared. Not public. Not political. Personal. The leader recorded it himself. "To humanity," he said, "we misjudged you. We believed power came from control. You showed us power comes from restraint." The message was sent. For the first time, a reply came. Not a transmission. A signal. A single data packet appeared on Empire scanners. It contained no threats. No demands. Only coordinates. The council stared at the screen. "What does it mean?" someone whispered. The intelligence chief analyzed the data. "It is an observation point," she said. "Near our core worlds." "They are watching us," the leader said. "Yes," she replied. "And deciding." The Empire felt exposed. Not under attack. Under judgment. Humanity had not returned to save them. They were waiting to see if the Empire could face the cost of its arrogance. The leader closed his eyes. "We begged for peace," he said quietly. And they answered with silence. The galaxy had changed. Not because humanity fought, but because humanity chose who deserved to be heard. The Galactic Empire was still standing, but it was breaking. Not from a single enemy. Not from a great war. It was breaking from within. Across Empire space, worlds began to fail. Trade routes stayed open but nothing moved. Supplies reached some planets and missed others. Old systems could not adjust fast enough. Citizens waited in long lines. Governors sent desperate reports. "This world needs help. Our power grid is unstable. We cannot control the crowds." The council chamber became a place of crisis. Leaders argued openly. "This is the humans' fault," one leader shouted. "They abandoned the galaxy." Another leader answered, "No. We pushed them away." The truth was clear but hard to accept. The Empire had built its strength on obedience. Orders went down. Resources went up. But that system depended on connections humans had quietly managed. Without them, everything slowed. Then came the rebellions. A mining world declared independence. A border system refused taxes. A fleet commander ignored central orders. The Empire responded as it always had. Force. Warships were sent. But even force failed. Fleet coordination suffered. Communication delays caused mistakes. Old enemies saw opportunity. A rival coalition attacked a weak border sector. The Empire fought back. And lost ships. Not because they were weaker. Because they were slower. The galaxy was changing faster than the Empire could react. The people noticed. Statues of Empire leaders were torn down. Symbols of control burned. Citizens no longer feared the Empire. Fear had kept order. Now fear had turned inward. The council met again. The leader looked older. Smaller. "Our arrogance blinded us," he said. "We believed power meant domination." He paused. "We were wrong." The intelligence chief presented new data. "Human influence continues to grow," she said. "Without them even being present. Smaller species formed networks based on trust, not fear. They shared resources. They protected each other. They survived. Better than the Empire. They learned from humans," she said. "Cooperation over control. That idea was dangerous. Because it worked." Another report arrived. A core world's defense grid failed during a pirate raid. The Empire arrived late. The pirates escaped. The people lost faith. The Empire tried reforms. Too late. Systems were too rigid. Leaders too proud. The galaxy no longer waited. The leader stood alone in the chamber after the meeting ended. He looked at the stars. "Humans did not destroy us," he whispered. "They revealed us. Revealed how much the Empire relied on fear. Revealed how little loyalty it truly had. And now fear was no longer enough." A final update arrived from the observation coordinates. Human sensors still watched. They sent no messages. They offered no help. They simply observed. The Empire felt smaller under that silent gaze. Not judged by words. Judged by outcomes. The leader finally understood the lesson. You cannot rule forever. By forcing others to kneel. The cost of arrogance is not defeat. It is collapse. Slow. Quiet. Inevitable. And somewhere beyond Empire space, humanity waited. The Galactic Empire no longer ruled the galaxy. It still existed. But it was no longer feared. Its borders had shrunk. Its fleets moved slowly. Its commands were questioned. Worlds that once obeyed now chose their own paths. The Empire had lost something greater than power. It had lost belief. Inside the council chamber, only a few leaders remained. The great seats were empty. Many had resigned. Others had fled. The leader stood alone at the center. He knew this moment had been earned. A signal arrived. Not loud. Not dramatic. A simple transmission request. From humanity. The room froze. For the first time in months, humans were speaking. The leader nodded. "Open it." The message appeared as a calm human voice. No anger. No pride. Only clarity. "We left because peace without respect is not peace," the voice said. "We did not leave to punish you." The leader listened carefully. "We left to protect ourselves," the message continued, "and to give the galaxy a choice." Images followed. Human worlds. Open councils. Different species working together. No flags. No chains. Power does not come from fear, the voice said. It comes from trust. The leader lowered his head. You taught us that you valued obedience over understanding, the voice continued. So we removed ourselves from a system built on control. Silence filled the chamber. Then the final words came. This is not revenge. We will not return to rule. We will not return to serve. We will return only if invited, as equals. The message ended. No demands. No threats. Just truth. The leader exhaled slowly. Humanity had won. Not by conquest. By principle. Across the galaxy, other species heard the message. They felt hope. They saw a future not built on fear. Some worlds chose to join human-led alliances. Others chose independence. All chose freedom. The Empire had a choice too. Change or fade.